Okay, I wanted to add in a video for 5-2 about simplifying expressions when there is a coefficient and then a bunch of variables with exponents all underneath the radical. So this follows along with page 249, numbers 57 to 64. There weren't any examples in the exercises and monitoring progresses. So I'll do 58 for you since it's even and you can't check the answer in the back of your book. You need to make sure you copy down the things that I need you to think to yourself, which is how you're going to know what goes where. So the first thing we're going to do is think, do I know the cube root of 125? And of course I do. The answer is 5, so it's going to go out in front. Now, to simplify cube root of r to the 4th, one of my former students years ago came up with a great way of doing it that I've just been sharing ever since. So you need to ask yourself, how many times does 3 go into 4? And the answer is, of course, 1. So we're going to write r to the 1st outside. But there's something left over. So anything that's left over is going to go underneath the cube root, and 3 goes into 4 one time with 1 left over. Let's try that with s. How many times does 3 go into 9? And the answer is 3 times. So we're going to write an s cubed. But is there anything left over when you divide 3 into 9? Nope, so nothing goes underneath. And again, how many times does 3 go into 7? The answer is 2. So t squared is going to go out front. And finally, though, when 3 goes into 7, we have 1 left over, so we're going to put a t to the 1st underneath. Now remember, I don't write to the 1st power. Okay? So here is our answer, and I found that to be the easiest way to simplify a monomial with a coefficient and many different variables with different exponents. Let's see if we can apply it again to number 60. So copy down number 60 carefully. Alright, so the first thing I want to do is try to simplify what I can. I notice that I have a 405 divided by 5, so I'm going to figure out what 405 divided by 5 is. And that's 81. So I have the 4th root of 81. I have x cubed divided by x to the negative 1, and when I have the same base and I'm dividing, I subtract. So 3 minus negative 1 is 3 plus 1, and that's x to the 4th. And then finally, y cubed over y is y cubed minus 1, which is y squared. So this fraction simplifies down, and then I have to ask myself, do I know the 4th root of 81? And the answer is yes, it's 3. So 3 goes out front. Then I ask myself, how many times does 4 go into 4? The answer is 1, so x to the 1st goes out front. And then I ask myself, how many times does 4 go into 2? And the answer is it doesn't go into 2. So what's left over underneath that 4th root is going to be the y squared. And then here we have our answer. So again, make sure you're copying down the words that you're going to have to think to yourself. Do you know the cube root? Do you know the 4th root? How many times does the index go into the exponent? How many times does 4 go into 4? If it goes in evenly, you write out the variable with how many times it goes in as its exponent. Whatever's the remainder goes underneath, stays underneath the radical. Okay? So why don't now you try numbers 57 and 59, and we'll talk about it in class.